In 2014, I was making $240 a month. I was single. I was drinking and partying. And today I sold about $30 million online for others. I have 3 kids. I have a wife. I'm working out every day. And I want to give you the 30 learning lessons and 30 mistakes I made so you can make your journey to your goals smoother and avoid making the mistakes that I was making. Number 1, start documenting everything today on social media publicly. Don't make a mistake of having 11 notebooks like this full of psychology and marketing and copy, and then 2 million words in Google Docs and have 0 followers on all of the social media. Please just start documenting your journey. Whatever you do, just turn on the screen share, just turn on the camera, just screen record. Whatever you're doing, just have all of the things that you are doing documented so you can prove it, which leads us to point number 2, and that is create what people call these days a binge bank. What is that? I see your channel or your page as a better way of crafting a resume or a portfolio or a CV, or call it however you want, because you can send anybody who wants to learn more about you and be like, hey, go to that page, go through all of the things that I've done. You can binge watch the channel. You can see how I think about storytelling, how I think about life, how I think about kids, how I think about loyalty, how I think about helping others, how I think about keeping my word. And then even if someone just finds out about you and he's like, oh, I'm hiring, I want a partner, or I want a co-founder, I'm wondering if I can learn anything about this person. And then, I don't know, they read about you on LinkedIn, you had a great post that reached 3 people and had 1 comment, but one of them was that person. Then you have a link to your YouTube channel. Someone clicks and they're like, oh, there's 25 videos. I wonder how he feels about being genuine to others, how he feels about honoring his own word, how he feels about treating others like he's treating him. And then you have all of those there. You immediately get a book call with someone who can become your partner, someone who can give you a job offering, or someone who's going to be your boost to the next level, because that someone could be a creator who has 50 million subscribers or followers, and then he like, I want you guys to learn about this kid. So please do that. Number 3, you have to start from removal, not addition. Right now, in this day and age, the phones and everything, it's chaotic stimulus. What does that mean? In order to start adding anything, you have to remove the chaotic stimulus. Right now, your brain is used to having a stimulus of 100, which is porn and video games and Netflix and sweets and sodas. And when you start reading a book or consuming a course or working on developing a skill, that's a stimulus of 20. Your dopamine receptors cannot feel that. That's why it feels like torture. This one is a lifesaver. So please, just first decide what's going to go out of my life in order to make a room for something new. Then that new thing is going to become really, really pleasurable. And then the goal achievement is going to become a byproduct, not something you're going to be chasing for the rest of your life. This brings us to number 4, which is understanding what are input and outcome goals. Input goals are goals we can control. Outcome goals are goals that we have no control over. What does this mean? If you set a goal that you're going to make $150,000 by day 90 from today, that's something you cannot control. And that's gonna lead to depression and to disappointment and to anxiety, feeling like a loser and all that kind of bad stuff. So outcome goals, leave that to the universe when the outcome goal is going to happen. When I'm gonna become a millionaire, I don't know, I will. But how do I control if I will or not? That's input goals. The input goal is, hey, I will have 5 videos a day on TikTok every single day. That's something you can control 100%. You cannot control the number of views, you cannot control the number of comments, you cannot control the reach, you cannot control the algorithms, but you can control the input. You can control, I will DM 50 people each day for the next 12 months. I will call 150 people Monday to Friday for the next 90 days, see what happens. And that's gonna be a lifesaver. Trust me, leave the outcome goals to the universe, set them. I'm not saying don't set the outcome goal. I'm just saying don't attach the deadline to the outcome goal because you cannot control that. Set deadlines to the input goals and then watch your life morph. Point number 5, which is failure is just data. Every single video is getting 150 views. Why? Let's see what will happen if I change the hook or change how I approach or change the background or change how I talk and change my emotions, etc., etc., etc. So you use failure as the feedback. Everything needs to start with a failure. Failure is like, imagine you're getting handed a brick for every failure, and then success is like here, and then you put a brick here, then you put it 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 here, and then with enough failures you reach the success point. So every failure is just a brick handed to you that you can lay down so you can build a staircase to your success. This one is really not that popular, but hard route is the fastest path to success. What do I mean by that? The hardest path to becoming a YouTuber or becoming a content creator is to start putting content online today, right now. That's something we are afraid the most of, but that's the fastest path. If you want to become a writer, the fastest path is to start writing. You take a book. This is what I used to do back in the days, 11 years ago. Take a book and transcribe the entire book by hand. I used to do it with the audiobooks. You put the audiobook earpieces in your ears, and then you transcribe the entire thing by hand. And then you read it. And trust me, you will learn how successful people think in 6 months instead of 60 years. Because that's, again, really hard, but that's extremely fast. Compare that to reading 50 books this year and remembering 7 points, or using 5 good books and transcribing them by hand and understanding 90% of what was said in those books. That's going to be a game changer. So the hardest path is usually the fastest. Instead of thinking about what should I eat and how should I perform the exercises, and no, you pick meat, eggs, and vegetables, you go outside and you start doing push-ups and squats. That's it. That's the hardest path, but it is the fastest every single time. I learned it the hard way. Number 6 is becoming good at what you hate is quite literally impossible. It will feel like a torture every minute of it. So start experimenting. Don't be like, I need to find my passion. You don't find your passion. You don't find your purpose. You stumble upon it, but you stumble upon it by doing the work. I started as the worst salesman 2 years in a row regionally in the insurance company, making $240 a year. I couldn't sell myself out of a paper bag, and I was really, really bad at writing. Can you guess how I sold $30 million online? By writing copy and selling to American consumers. So if you told me, hey, your passion is going to be copywriting, or your passion is going to be psychology of human beings and human behavior, I would be like, come on, man, I hate that. I cannot stand it. I want to play basketball and I want to learn math because that's what I'm good at. So do not search for your passion. Start working and then stumble upon it, but find something by experimenting. So you start writing, then you see how it feels, then you start editing, then you see how it feels, then you start putting out content, then you see how it feels. Face in front of camera or without face, or hide behind the camera, or do fancy edits or low quality edits. Just play around with everything until you understand. Give yourself a good 30 days, good 60 days, and find what you enjoy doing, because if you hate something, you won't become good at it. 7 is a lifesaver. 7 is don't fuck with your biology. I have a video coming, common sense became a superpower. Man, you have to pay attention to your sleep. You have to go to bed at similar time. You have to wake up at a similar time. You have to pay attention to what you eat. You have to move. That's basically it. You move, exercise, walk, then you have good 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Do not fuck with your biology. Trust me, you can win against anything. I'm stubborn as a rhino. I will win against anything. But when it comes to biology, when you feel tired and then your emotions are out of whack and then you cannot put a sentence together properly, you cannot win. You cannot. Just do not fuck with your biology. This one is probably my favorite, and it's that no matter how big the success is going to be eventually, whenever you achieve it, it won't matter without people you love. So do not sacrifice relationship with people that you love and that you care about. Trust me, 50 million feet square house is still empty, just as it's the basement. If you're alone, it's gonna feel awful, and you will question why the fuck you did things that you did in the past the way you did. Do not sacrifice your people. Sacrifice Netflix, sacrifice video games, sacrifice sweets and sodas, sacrifice the nights out, the alcohol, the drinking. That's the things that you are going to sacrifice. Do not sacrifice your parents. Do not sacrifice your siblings. Do not sacrifice the best friend that's still around, even though you were a jackass or not. I don't agree with, hey, find your new circle and level up and level up. Yes, level up professionally. That's okay. I surrounded myself with various people online that are professionally at my level or higher. But my closest friends, I have 9 of them. I would die for each one of them. So trust me, when you achieve big things and then you want to celebrate with someone, don't make it. It's going to be sad if those people are around just because you are a name now or you have a certain number of followers, and then they will never tell you the truth that you're a jackass, that you have a bad breath, that you have to clip your nails and stuff like that. That's why you have your friends from growing up. So that's a tough one, not really popular, but it's going to be a lifesaver. Trust me, when you are 65 or 70, you will be like, thank God I listened to that advice. Because being alone, that's really, really scary. And that's how it ends up for most people that are like, I'm going to level up and I'm going to search for a new circle because I want to be surrounded with successful people. Don't do that. Don't fight with idiots. They will drag you to their level and then beat you with experience. Again, hard lesson. I try to make everybody better. There are people who don't want to be better. That's it. Do not try to argue with people who do not see what you see, and then you're trying to persuade them to see what you're seeing. It's impossible. If people are like, hey, you're stupid because you're working out, what's the difference drinking Coke or drinking water? You have no chance of winning. They're just playing a game. They are bored. You will be there with passion and you will try to really, 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 really make them better. They won't listen. So do not fight with idiots. They will drag you to their level and then beat you with experience. This one is probably the biggest one for me. Keep your word to yourself and to everybody else at all costs. I started as a really, really bad copywriter. I started at first as a media buyer, then I transitioned to copywriting, and I joined one agency where the head of copywriters was this rock star copywriter. And we were talking, he was reading my copy, he's like, there's really something there, you understand stuff, you're just really unpolished and we need to work on that, on the structure and all that. But he's like, at one point, he's like, will you be able to deliver this to me? And I said, I'm going to be delivering that, I don't know, by Friday morning. And I'm like, dude, stop. I need to tell you something. If fucking Armageddon hits the earth and everything is destroyed, I'm going to find a fucking pigeon, tie this envelope to the pigeon, then the pigeon is going to take that and deliver it to you as I promised. And dude was like, holy fuck, I think I love you. That was it. That was my skill. I didn't have any, but it was, I'm going to keep my word at all costs. And then this brings us back to us. Keep it to yourself. This is the best way to build self-confidence. Trust me, there is no other way. This will turn confidence into knowing. This will turn confidence into, dude, I don't need confidence. I'm good. This is, I'm going to work out tomorrow at 6 a.m. When that alarm rings, you're up and you're working out. If you say 100 push-ups, you're doing 100 push-ups. If you say 1,000 push-ups, you're going to die on that field and still do 1,000 push-ups. That's how you build unshakable self-confidence. That's how you can step in front of anybody and be like, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I stand behind, and I'm not flinching. That is how you do it. You keep your word to yourself at all costs. If you say, I'm going to record a video tomorrow morning, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how bad the video is, you are going to record the video. Leverage negative emotions, number 13. This one was, I didn't understand it when it just started, because I started by having negative emotions and I was like, enough is enough, and I don't want to work for a paycheck of $300 or $240 a month and support my family. So it was a negative emotion that propelled me. But then when you achieve certain levels of success, you don't understand it anymore. And you have to leverage them again and again and again. Enough is enough. Never again. Those are beautiful emotions. Feeling disgusted by how you look, by how you smell, by how much money you have in a bank account, by how bad your car is, by how bad your apartment is, by how bad your relationships are. When you feel disgusted about it, that's a fuel like no other. Forget about motivation, forget about all the fancy talks. That's good. Positive thinking, I'm all for it. But trust me, negative emotions, disgust, embarrassment, anger, that's something that never evaporates. It will drive you to your wildest destinations and wildest dreams and wildest outcomes. Whatever you set as a goal and whatever you try to achieve, you're going to be tested heavily. So set the proper expectations. Understand what is going to happen on the journey and have proper expectations. If you feel like, hey, it's going to be smooth sailing from this point where I'm working for $1,500 a month and I want to reach $15,000 a month, it's not going to be a smooth sailing. They're going to be getting sick. You're going to be feeling depressed. You're going to be feeling angry. You're going to be feeling devastated. You're going to be feeling sad. You're going to be having a sick mom or a sick grandma or a sick dog. There's shit that's gonna happen. So you're gonna be tested and you will have to push through all of those, and having proper expectations on what is it that you can expect on a journey ahead is gonna be really beneficial. You have to learn how to stand your ground. Stand your ground, what do I mean by that? If someone is treating you poorly, you have to tell them. And you don't have to tell them, I'm sorry, I think that you're treating me poorly. No, you have to be like, listen, I do not deserve this from you. I will not tolerate it. And if it happens again, we are done. So be ready to walk away. Do not let people play ping pong with you. You're a person, you're a human, you deserve normal treatment as another human from another human. Do not allow, set a bottom line and do not allow anyone to cross it. On that journey and on all of the disappointments that are ahead of you, not a single one will be, and not a single one happened in the past that didn't serve you really, really well. There are huge learning lessons. It toughen up you, yourself, your mentality, your skin, and you now are a better person, faster person, quicker person, more wisdom, more fun, more empathy toward others because of the past disappointments that you went through. So every and any disappointment that happens, know that it's a really, really good learning lesson. Although at the moment that it's happening, it feels fucking awful, but in a month or 2 or 3 from that moment, you're gonna be like, wow, that was really, really good for me. So expect them, and then every time it happens, see what you can learn from it. If there is one thing that I would love to convey, like if I could just beam it to every single person on the planet, it's to destroy neediness. If you convey even a sliver of it when you're in communication with other person, it feels awful. I can tell you that even if the most beautiful girl on the planet approached you and then you like, oh my God, what is happening? This is the best day of my life. But then she became super needy. Hey, I want you to look at me. Hey, I want you to take me here. I want you to take me there. Cuddle me. I want to touch you. I want to hug you. I want to comb your hair. I want to be there with you. I want to be there with you when you're hanging around with the buddies. I want to be there with you when you're at your parents' house. I want to be there. You're like, come on, what's going on? Just please back up. So when you're like, this job, I would really, no, come there without neediness, no expectations. You're like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to talk about myself. I'm going to talk how I can help them. If they feel like I'm going to be a great asset, they're going to hire me. If not, no big deal. I'm going to go to the next one. In sales calls, in sales presentations, in videos, do not be needy. When you're setting goals and you're trying to achieve certain levels of success, do not expect anyone to understand you. Support here and there, they can fake it, but they will not be able to understand you. When I started, I was like, I'm gonna go online and start selling digital products to people from US, and my mother and my father were like, he lost his mind. It's like 2014, 2015. We don't even have a way to accept payments in my country, and I'm setting on a goal like that. So that journey was super, super alone. And there was not much support and not even a sliver of understanding. It took me 4.5 years before I made the first dime online. Everybody thought I was going crazy, but I had a clear vision and I did not need anyone to understand me. I knew where I was going and it was my path, and it wasn't their job to either understand or support. Don't get confused about the concept of I'm going to be dimming other people's light because I'm going to be successful. Thus, I'm going to stay where I am in my circle of competence and I won't be shining too much. When you let your light shine, you automatically allow other people's light to shine. So whenever you're creating videos like this, whenever you're having success, don't be a jackass about it. Be humble and convey things that you achieved, and don't be afraid to let your light shine, because everybody who are in a normal state of mind and have at least some positivity to them, they will be absorbing that light and then immediately trying to let their light shine. So do not be afraid to achieve the success that you're dreaming of. Delayed gratification and long-term thinking, these two, I can literally say that these two saved my life. From 2014, end of 2014, starting of 2020, so 4.5 years, I made $0 online, and I was learning and studying for 10, 12, 15 hours a day, every single day, like clockwork. So if I wasn't able to understand how delayed gratification works and when the achievement of goal is going to happen, and I was tied too much to that deadline that we talked about, input and output goals, I would quit way sooner than I achieved my goals. So I removed everything, chaotic stimulus went away, and then reading a book, transcribing by hand, writing copy, understanding psychology, marketing, and all that started feeling, I got the feeling like I'm playing video games. I got rewards from just doing it. And then everything else just fall in place. So delayed gratification, long-term thinking, it's gonna save you in all areas of life: relationship, health, fitness, body, mindset, money, everything. What I learned when I was setting my first goal is that the first goal needs to be selfish, or at least focused on your closest family. You need to aim to level up their well-being or your personal well-being. So if it's your mom or your dad, or if it's your spouse or your sister, your brother, or your kids, it has to be selfish in your circle, in your closest circle, in your closest family. That first goal needs to be, I want this because of me and because of the person next to me. It cannot be, I'm gonna end the world hunger. It cannot be, I'm gonna create an app that's gonna save people from starving. That is not possible. You need to set a goal that's gonna be solely focused on you and achieving the better states of life for yourself and for your closest people. So your, again, spouse, mom, dad, sister. Going back to hard route is the fastest one. Reading a book a week is biggest bullcrap I've ever heard. It doesn't mean anything. It's a vanity metric. Saying that you read 3,000 books and you're still making $1,500 selling those books in Barnes and Nobles means nothing. Take a good book, study it for 15, 20, 30 days, transcribe it. After every chapter you read, ask yourself, where and how I'm going to use this, where and how I'm going to use this, where and how I'm going to use this. After every chapter you read from a really good book. Do not focus on vanity reading that's 52 books a year and I'm reading like a CEO. No, you're not. What I learned when my partner screwed me over my company, that was worth making roughly $20 million at one point in a year, is that yes, you should trust everybody, but you should also have some things on paper, signed and verified. Do not be like, hey, I'm going to trust everybody because when I shake hands with someone, for me, that's like the biggest and most important thing ever. Trust me, put some things on paper, especially the important ones where people can, whenever there is a self-interest involved and someone has a choice where they can either screw you or screw themselves, trust me, they will always pick you. So put it on paper. You'll need to understand that you have these two versions of you. You have your current self and then you have your future self. Your current self is experiencing the reality and the result that you are having in your life perfectly aligned to who you are right now. In order to achieve these results here that you are after, you need to change yourself, and then you need to leave that self behind you and abandon it in order to have these results here. And that self will be feeling, when you get those results, at the initial moment, there's going to be excitement and exhilaration, but after a certain period passes by, and it's usually less than you can think, it's maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 days, maybe a week, then it feels like a personal standard. So if you're at this point here and you start feeling as making $10,000 a month is like having a shower every morning, if you start really feeling like that, then you will start taking actions that are going to align with that feeling, and then you will morph yourself into a person who does not accept anything less than $10,000 a month. And guess what? Then you're going to achieve them. So understand the battle between two selves. There is constant battle. This one wants to drink and party and have fun, and this one has goals and dreams and aspirations. This one is in control. In order for this one to go here and be the one in control, you have to leave this one and, quote unquote, metaphorically speaking, kill it in order for this one to grow. Every success starts as bow and arrow. Like, you have to pull back and then release it in order to that arrow to be fired and to achieve the target. This was, at the very beginning, was super hard because you start working out you become weaker, then you get injured, you start learning, then at one point of learning, like 3 months or 6 months, you feel even dumber than you felt at day one that you begin. So all of the success is going to feel like that. You will have to pull it back and then release it in order for it to fly, to hit its target. And just understand that it's normal to feel that way. That's what everyone goes through. This one is a great one for having a team and working with other people. Become proficient at catching other people doing something great. Become proficient at catching other people doing something really good, something great. And then convey it to them. You can convey it in public in front of the entire team, or you can convey it privately, but let them know that you see how good they are doing and that you're noticing that, and that that is much appreciated. If you do that with freelancers you're working with team members, with bosses, employees, co-workers, people below or above you, trust me, if you go ahead and don't be a ass kisser, but be like, after 6 months, hey, you're giving praise to everybody here, but we can see that you're staying until 7 p.m., that you're not seeing your family just for this to work, and that you're providing for all of us because you're running this business and we're making money and we're all happy. So congratulations, and I really want to say how much I appreciate you for that. Morning is smarter than the evening. What is this? This one is the worst decisions of my life I've made were the decisions I made in the evening when I'm depleted of energy, depleted of willpower, depleted of positive emotions, super tired, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Let it sleep over. Trust me, just take a breath, take a walk, talk to people, watch Netflix if you have to, read a book, and let it sleep over. Make a decision tomorrow morning when you're fresh, when you had a good night's sleep, and when you can think properly and see the consequences of the decision you're making. The big ahas, the big transformations, the big changes happen literally like this. It's literally one click in the brain. It's one neuron connecting with the other where you're like, done. So you're not that far away from changing anything and everything that you want to change in your life. It can happen in an instant, in a blink of an eye. You literally wake up, you're like, I'm done. It's one click. But have inputs that are going to cause you to have that click. What do I mean by that? Reading good books, reading autobiographies from people, not watching Netflix, not playing video games, not overeating, not being like, do the things that are going to make it easier for that one click to happen. The ultimate freedom I ever experienced in life was taking a 100% responsibility for everything and anything that happened. Man, it was the most liberating feeling in the world when I was working at that job, $240 a month. I was blaming the economy, the president. I was blaming the company that wasn't recognizing of how good I am. I have this rare fortune of being one of the highest IQ people in the world. I have the highest measurable IQ, highest possible IQ that you can have. And I was working at $240 a month, and I was like, I was a great student. I graduated college. I have a degree in economics, and I'm working for $240 a month. This is because of the economy, because of the politics, and it was so awful. And then one day I'm reading a quote that says, when you're 85 and you look straight in the mirror and you want to explain who is to be blamed for where you are in life, the only way you can point that finger is in front. And it was scary as fuck. And that moment on, I'm like, I'm done. No more video games, no more nothing. That was my click. The previous point that we made, my click was, man, and the responsibility, the liberation, and the freedom I felt when I took all the responsibility back on me. And I can learn, I can study, I can watch, I can read, I can then implement, I can test, I can reach out to other people, I can put content online, I can run ads, I can create videos. I'm like, this is all me. I can do all of this. No one is required for me to be able to do this. I can be fit, I can be fat, I can be whatever, but it is me. So responsibility, trust me, as soon as you embrace it with your entire being, it's going to be the best feeling in the world. And last one, understand that your words will have consequences. When you say bad stuff about someone, and when you say good stuff about someone, when you say it straight to them, when you say it behind their back, all of the words that are coming out of your mouth will have consequences. Words are energy. We humans are the only species on the planet that can do that. We are the only ones that can convey something using words, and then we can evoke emotions using those words. You can go ahead and tell someone that you killed their dog, and maybe you didn't, but just saying I killed your dog, it will create crazy cocktail of emotions inside their mind. It's just words. You can say I hate you in just words. It really does not represent anything, but if it's making other people feel certain way, it means that words are energy. So be careful what's coming out of your mouth and how you're using words and what you're saying to other people and how that something that you're saying is going to affect them and how it's going to make them feel. If you're a creator and you want to become a business owner in under 30 seconds, you can check the first link in the description. We are building what's going to be like a Netflix for education. We're giving creators 100% ownership of it so they can sell it as if it's theirs. Please go ahead and check that link if you're interested in selling premium products to your audience and keep 100% of the revenue.